Let's see if they're still closed.
You have reached the office of Assemblywoman Shirley Weber. No one can answer the phone at this time. If you'd like to leave a general message or a message for the Assemblywoman, press 0. For Tiffany Johnson, press 1. For Marcus McKinney, press 2. For Jasmine Hicks, press 3. For Crystal Puzeta, press 4. For Lisa Martin, press 5. For Tanisha Martin Childs, press 6. Thank you for calling, and someone will return your call as soon as possible.
Well, this is Thursday during the week. This is a second call at 4:16 p.m. 4/19/18. And nobody's in the office, or are they? And do they have my phone number knocked out? So what we're going to do is we're going to call the San Diego office. Okay, so I'm looking this up right now. Contact for Sheila Weber's, California Assemblywoman Sheila Weber. Website. Let me scroll down to the bottom where the phone number is for San Diego. And here, we'll put this back up so you can see my ugly ass face. Okay. So, what we're going to do now, it's 1 minute later, it's 4:17. We are now going to dial 1-619-531-7913. Let's see what these people do.
Good afternoon, Office of Assemblymember Shirley Weber. This is Carolina.
Hi, Carolina. Is there something wrong up in Sacramento that nobody's home all day long?
What is your question, sir?
Why isn't anybody in the office in Sacramento all day today?
I don't know. I can put you on hold.
Yeah, could you please find out? So let's see what they come up with now, huh?
Hi, sir.
Yes.
So they are answering calls, but it's just that they're getting so many that the lines are full. Would you like to leave a comment?
I think that you'd better hook me up with Harrison right now, because your Sheila Weber is looking at maybe not being reelected again. Do you know what I have on her and your San Diego schools, and him and her putting my life in danger while she writes bills that she won't back up? I think you better get Mr. Harrison on the phone to me right now.
Can I actually have your zip code, sir?
90048, and that doesn't matter. Don't play that game with me.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
I work with Sheriff Baca writing legislation up there, and she needed my help to do it. Well, this is how it works today in this sick-ass town, huh? We'll try a little Sacramento office again.
Assemblymember Weber, how can I help you?
Is this Harrison?
Hello, yes, this is Harrison.
This is George Bizzetti. Harrison, how you doing?
Hey, Mr. Bizzetti, I'm trying to quickly wrap things up for the end of the day, but I'm doing well. You doing okay?
Depends on what you tell me about what you read last night, what you all intend on doing, Harrison.
Oh, so I had a chance to look through the email that you sent,
Yes.
and I had a couple of recommendations for you. So what I think that you should do, first of all, is it sounds like that you mentioned you're in the midst of this legal battle. I definitely recommend finding an attorney who can give you legal advice. Obviously, I can't give you any legal advice.
Harrison, I don't want to hear this, Harrison. You're being recorded right now, Harrison. Your office has a legal fiduciary duty to do your job and get my exculpatory evidence. Let me tell you something, Harrison. What I have on your school district down there, and what I know about her husband as a judge, okay? Do you really want me to lay down what I can do? And I'm going to load this goddamn phone call up tonight. Do you want everybody in the world to be able to listen to all this stupidity I'm getting out of you, Harrison? You better get my damn exculpatory evidence, Harrison. Don't you dare have your office write laws and the rest of these fools, and you say you don't have any obligation when I can show you your constitutional duty to do such. Now, are you guys going to start to do your job up there, or what? You're on the recording device right now, dude.
Mr. Bizzetti, I'm trying to give you some advice.
You're not giving me any advice. I don't have any money, you fool. Didn't you read a damn thing there? This is serious shit. We're talking about the chief of police committing felonies on me. No exculpatory evidence. I can't get an attorney to answer. Did you read that thing, man? We spent a week and a half on that to get that right.
Legal advice. I would strongly recommend trying to seek out one of those because
I can't get any legal advice. Didn't you read that? I've had every lawyer, 400 of them so far, refuse to even do what they say they'll do and even meet with me or respond to me. I'm on a blacklist. You have a job up there, dude. You're passing the laws.
I need to finish some things up today, but I wanted to give you that advice. And the other thing I wanted to recommend is that for your POS charter complaint, you can, instead of getting them, you can also look for one of the education consultants at the Department of Education, because they are able to hear and address some of those concerns.
You don't give a damn about your own school district. She doesn't care about her school district. You don't care about your school district. You're telling me you don't care. You're not saying, Mr. Bizzetti, could we work with you? Could you please help us analyze that budget so we could save the students of San Diego? Do you realize how foolish your answer is, Mr. Harrison? And if this is you, that means that's Miss Weber. So if she wants to get up there and toot her horn that she's the bigwig doing stuff, dude, she never got LA Unified audited by the state. Okay? You guys needed me and Celeste King IV to pass legislation on criminal justice and education. I'm the reason that your assembly had a hearing. Why don't you go ask her to go look up the records on preventing school districts from going into receivership? I'm the reason for that. And guess who was the last person to testify? So when you want to play those dumb games like you play on the rest of these people you talk to daily, dude, you're barking up the wrong thing and you're putting my life in danger. So go ahead and continue telling me that little stupid stuff you're going to say so I can record it and load it right to YouTube and punch it right up to Fraudbuster tonight with the last conversation, because I've been waiting until this conversation, because I've been trying to get your office all day and you don't answer till San Diego happens to call you.
Mr. Bizzetti, again, I'm giving you, I think...
You're giving me trash information. You're supposed to say, we're going to stop them from breaking the law.
Okay.
You mean to tell me your office can't call the AG? You mean to tell me your office can't call the AG or the DA or the city attorney or anybody responsible go, why can't you give Mr. Bizzetti his exculpatory evidence that our Miss Weber passed the bill on, and we're planning a new one to try to stop this. Of course, we don't care if you enforce it or not, because, dude, that's what you are just saying here. Do you understand that?
Mr. Bizzetti, I'm gonna hang up soon.
No, I'm gonna hang up on you because... Okay, he's not gonna hang up on me. Now, it's about time that the people of this country wake up to the fact that after you watch these videos that I've been putting up of how this stupid ass trash pit country of ours really works, where you don't have, look, these are Dems, okay, that I'm talking about. I'm a Democrat. Not one of these Dems, like a lot of my Republican friends, are not Trumpsters, because both of them are bought and sold by the same people, as you can just see here. This is a woman who represents a school district, San Diego Unified. And because I'm in the school budgets, because everything depends on the money, and the children can't have their education and books and everything else they need, and good teachers, and their sports teams, and all the other cultural stuff, you know, music and everything else, dance, theater. Unless this money is taken care of, so the special ed kids, the gifted kids, and everybody else can find what will help make their life work. So San Diego Uni has 12,500 about per student. That's $1.25 billion for 100,000 students. That's about 12,500 per year per student. It's not really high funding. It's not really low funding. It's enough funding. So how is it that this legislator doesn't know, who says she's all about education and all this other stuff, that her school district in the last 13 years has 11 years of red ink? Now, I've done 120 to 150 school districts in just California with 10-year spreadsheets. That's not 1 year, going back 10 years. And I've done 20 to 25 now, single year, general fund budget, looks into their giant budget, okay, to get all the absolute numbers of 20 to 25 national school districts. Hers is the worst I've ever seen. Except we got two more standouts. Vegas, because a friend of mine moved there and they had a big old financial problem, so I looked into their budget. And I found that they only had $1,600 per student. Unbelievably low. And worse yet, almost no federal funding for Title I or special education. Normally, it's about 8 to 10% depending on the wealth of the district. Beverly Hills gets some federal funding, but a lot more than these guys do. Now, think of Vegas, got to have a lot of poverty and special ed. Now let's go to Baltimore too, because, you know, we saw that they didn't have any heat for their schools in the winter. They have over 20,000 per student. Unbelievable, they got money from God. But they also have about 1.8 million only in federal funding, whereas LA Unified has 600 million. Now we know that Baltimore has more poverty and problems than even LA does. How's this happening? Well, You're just hearing with these phone calls to this lady that I went to in good faith as I have to all of them. Now let's give you a list. John Lewis. I'm the former Director of Policy for Court, California. As a son of Celeste King III, the most famous Tuskegee Airman, advisor to 3 former presidents, Eisenhower, Nixon, and Reagan, former Army Air Force General, founder of Bail Bond Associations of California and the United States, whose wife was for 8 years U.S. UN Representative for Women, was on the Pettus Bridge that day with John Lewis, and he wrote the bail bonds for a week. Well, his office told me, when I'm trying to get him to help enforce the 2003 DOJ Agreement on Internal Affairs, written with LAPD, assisted in being written by the Seattle police, who just killed the pregnant lady naturally, right? That hasn't been enforced for now 2003 to 2018, that's 15 years, times take the Guardian's $1,100 per year, or the DOJ's $1,900 per year. We have a whole lot of deaths by police. These are deaths of those in custody and or unarmed on the street. Now the lawyer who's taken the one up in Sacramento just took the one in Barstow. I talked to his office. They don't care. When I really put up what I have and all this stupidity, it's going to be amazing. Now let's lead down to what this is really all about. Tomorrow, I am going to be in court. Department, you are notified to appear for arraignment in Department 48 of the Superior Court of California, Los Angeles. Failure to appear will make a warrant for your arrest. Robert Shaw, Supervising Attorney, Central Trials, yeah. Willful disobedience of a court order. Get this, here, let me read this to you. First is CCMS case number 8JC07937. Court case number, there is none. Let me tell you something else, people. When I enter any of my case numbers, appeals case numbers still ongoing, or this case number, I don't exist. So first of all, this is a fake thing. Please be advised that a criminal complaint has been filed charging you with a violation of Section PC 166A4, commonly known as willful disobedience of a court order. There may be other charges included in the complaint which are not listed here. If you're on probation in any other case, a probation violation may also have been filed. Now, they are required to know what they're doing and to supply me with the information and date. No. And the bottom of this, for 5 years, I've been denied health care, and the exculpatory evidence as demanded in AB 1909. And in AB 1909, please go look it up. If the prosecutor doesn't supply the exculpatory evidence, they are the judge. If the judge follows the law, people, is to immediately file a felony on that prosecutor and any prosecutor involved in this with up to 36 months in jail, and to send their bar to the state bar for removal of their bar license. Now, I've called for this time and time again. Nobody wants to do anything. So tomorrow, under People versus Duck Rye, you remember that big killer case down there in Orange County, you know, the guy that killed the 8 people in a salon? And the big thing over that DA down there that's crazy as hell, breaking the law and nobody cares? Well, luckily that man had a good judge, Because the fault in all these laws is they leave it. The judge is supposed to be the fair, independent arbiter. Well, it doesn't happen. Well, People versus DeCry says that if the prosecutor's office constantly breaks a defendant's rights, that entire office, in other words, in that case, the entire Orange County District Attorney's office, cannot have anyone in their office continue the trial for his sentence, which is what this was all about. He admitted to killing the people. It's now about his sentence. So they broke all his rights in other phases, but this is dealing just with the sentencing part of the whole trial. So the Orange County's office is kicked out. And this is a California Supreme Court decision. So they go to the LADA. You hear? And because the LADA is also compromised, the LADA can't do it. And guess who's supporting this action, people? Why, that present Senator Kamala Harris, who is then Attorney General for the state of California, who's violated my rights by not maintaining control over law enforcement. That is their obligation when I sent her the Core California letter in April 2014, 15th and 18th, April 15th and 18th of 2014. So go to fraudbuster.org, people, and go watch Chief Beck of the LAPD at minute 23:17 commit felony PC 132 when they erased the audio of the meeting. That's right. When they load it to the web, it becomes interstate commerce. And now, that is what? RICO, organized crime, and Hobbs Act. I know you don't know this one. That's government corruption. Because also in this stupid-ass mess is not just my 5 years of illegal prosecution by the LADA, with the misdemeanors supposedly committed inside the City of L.A., which number one is illegal since 1915 according to the state constitution, a decision by the voters of the City of Los Angeles, but reauthorized in the 2009 LA City Charter vote, which included Section 271, which specifically states only the city attorney can prosecute any misdemeanor committed inside the City of L.A. Go to the websites, it says the same thing. And because these fools still didn't live up to it, City Council voted again in 2010, and they still don't care. So, go to fraudbuster.org, and go to National Security. Go look at my medical records and see what they've done. I am going to have no attorney-client privilege because I'm going to tell you everything. And tomorrow, 4/20/18, at 8:30 in the morning, I have to be in this court. These people intend on killing me, people. I'm 70. You hear? I'm going to be 71 in July. I've been denied health care for 5 years. I'm having trouble walking because my feet hurt. I now have Dupuytren's contracture in my left hand, which means my left hand's turning into a claw. I haven't been able to get prescriptions for my glasses for 5 years. I'm having trouble seeing. I have serious heart problems, electrical problems in my heart, thickened wall, leaky heart valve, slight constriction in an artery, gallstones, enlarged spleen, stage 2 kidney failure with no treatment for 5 years, and these people want to put me in jail again? So I'm going to tell you what, all of you. I'm loading up enough tonight that if they throw me into jail, including this video, I'm leaving everyone out there enough to take these people down in federal color of authority. Now, let me tell you what that means. Go look it up. I forget the exact, 18 USC 42, I forget the rest of the code, okay? It's so many I can't remember them all right now. Because we just got back from getting my friend bladder cancer treatment. They had to put that off because he might have an infection. And the last time he bled like a madman from his urinary tract, okay? So now they're waited to file these charges so that till he fell and broke his arm and now is getting treated for bladder cancer, and they filed these charges on me right after I got rid of the last ones on a bunch of fake stuff. And the previous charges, they never ran the thing before on my so-called contempt of court, where the whole trail of the email, because I've been waiting now to set them up really hard, where I tell that fool Tom Carter, don't send me any more of this stuff with Tarl Archulets' names, and wait till you see how many I'm going to load up tonight with her name all over it. He's been working for them. You want to see how ugly this thing works, people? Go to fraudbuster.org. Well, I think that pretty much covered it. Except for one other thing I want to tell you. I got to really run this home. Thousands of other citizens who do not have my capability and background, training, mentoring, and such, and mine is quite extensive. My dad was with Kelly Johnson from 1936. Do you dig? He's the flight test guy. 4 of my other main mentors were with Kelly Johnson from 1940. One of them, George Carroll, was the founder of solar astronomy at Lockheed, and in 1948 with another guy helped found Amateur Astronomy Associations of the United States. I was the only kid in Stony Ridge Observatory, which was finished by Lockheed because the optics were so good, to begin to figure out where to land on the moon. That's my background, okay? So I've been in jail. I've done nothing but train people in there in the law and help save lives. They wouldn't even give me toilet paper in there. I was refused phone calls every time I've been arrested for 3 to 5 days and never got through on my PIN numbers while the numbers are ID, while the inmates watching, they've never seen such a thing. I saved a man's life at the cage with the sheriffs yelling at me and the medical people to let him die in diabetic shock. I had the inmates say, we've seen Santa Claus on TV too, and watched everybody there just drop it on the floor. I don't know what's wrong with everybody, but we have one sick, sociopathic, malevolent, malignant society. So, if I never talk to you again, I'm leaving you enough at fraudbuster.org. And under federal color of authority, let me remind you, because I never finished this. If I am injured only, doing this for political, financial, personal reasons, with no basis in fact, which is what it is, it can be life in prison, okay? If I get killed as a result, or die, it's life in prison or the death penalty. Now, if they kill me in there with their stupid business, and they might just do it, I'm counting on all you out there to make sure that every single one of them gets put into state and federal prison and with a maximum sentence, and let them feel what it's like to be a common criminal treated as everyone else. Now, if they don't get treated in there by the inmates as I was the last 2 times, that's their problem. Because the only reason I was treated well as a 66 and 70-year-old man, white man, was because they knew who I was. I earned that by putting my life on the line. Why do we praise the sickest elements of our society now? I think you all better read Toynbee's history, and more importantly, Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. And get this all straight, people. We are a sick empire. And think about this. The only empire in the history of man that ever gave itself up before the empire ate them was Russia recently. They gave up the Stans, and they gave up the Baltics, and they gave up the Eastern Bloc, didn't they? And we promised them we would move our people in there, didn't we? Our military. And in '94, the Clinton Meister did it. So, Dems and Reps, all of you been killing under the DOJ agreement. All of you have been allowing this to go on as long as people pack your pockets. And public, as long as you allow this to happen, sooner or later, just like in Nazi Germany, they're going to come for you too.